So these are the mechanics that have been used in astrology to determine relationships, really simple things. Your sun signs and your moon signs, how do they get along? Like, and what are the challenges involved with it? And then it goes on to add the other factors. Okay, so we had the fire, main primary colors. Now we have the secondary colors. You mix red and yellow, you get orange. You mix yellow and blue, and you get green. You mix blue and red, you get purple. So you have the secondary colors. These are the air colors, the air signs. And the air signs are up in the air. They're in their head. They're in their mind. They're trying to think of things too. That they're working on their intelligence and what they know. So they're up in the air, in their mind, in their head, thinking about things. This is the quality. They're all rational. They're all cerebral people, Geminis, Libras, and Aquarians, each in a different style, but it's fairly easy for them to relate to each other without trying to change the other. Okay, at least it's on a cerebral level. They can figure it out or think it through. So the Aquarian is the practical strategic thinker. Here's the things that everyone's going through. Here's where the problems are. Here's what needs to be done. They know this person. They know that person. They know who's respected, who's accomplished, who's achieved things. And they get very established in the knowledge that they know. So they accumulate knowledge and content so they can have it to tell other people or to guide other people with and to guide themselves with. But it's fixed here. So they get fixed in certain ideas, fixed in a certain way of thinking, and then they'll apply that. And so this, I see it as fixed in a certain strategy, a way of planning things. Capricorns plan things, but they drive. They're not thinking like an Aquarian. This can work, this isn't working. They don't measure it quite the same way that Aquarius is. So it's an air sign. It projects when they get ideas, when they know things. It's hard to keep an Aquarius quiet. These are all signs that would want to be writers, want to speak, want to talk, want to communicate. So that's their high level. But Aquarius have that fixed, determined thinking. This is real. Oh, that's stupid, or that's not real, or this is I know this, I don't know that, and they building blocks. They build up their logic. The Geminis are totally opposite. They follow any idea. They don't stay fixed in it. Here's one idea. Oh, that's a great idea. Great. And now we'll go on to this, and we add this, and we add these other things to it, and they don't stay fixed. So the Gemini can create a puzzle for the Aquarian, but at the same time, it always adds new information and new ideas, and the Aquarian generate gains by that association too. So the Gemini will listen to the Aquarian, but they listen to everybody else too. Although the Gemini doesn't listen, they're just talking to everyone else too. Aquarian's thinking they're listening, but at least the ideas are being exchanged. The Gemini will act out the things that they know. They may pick up an idea from an Aquarian and then not be responsible about it and just go and apply it somewhere else, go tell someone else a secret or something. The Gemini is just following their own ideas and they're adding to it. Oh, they did it that way. I can do it this way. I can get away with it. Why do that? I can do this. I can do that. I mean, you can, when you see this independent logic or independent thinking of the Gemini, and you realize that's the strong card, and you see Donald Trump, the president of the States, has that. You really see him thinking, and he thinks he knows everything. Everybody else that doesn't go with him, anyone he says, questions him, they're either false news, false media, it's wrong, they're bad. I'm the only one thinking, and you can be on my side. That's the Gemini adaptability. It's very independent, but it's not responsible. It'll try things, but in politics, it's a difficult challenge. So anyways, this is the best quality of Gemini. They're getting into something. They get a funny way. They can see things in funny ways. And they'll say, they get one-liners, they get jokes, they get things that just are funny. So they're the sign that has the gift of happiness. They can laugh at anything. Aquarians, is that for real? Like, they can laugh, but not quite the same way like a Gemini. Gemini is just adaptable. They can change their mind, change their ideas, see another way of looking at things, and they thrive on that. So, and they'll go on it. They'll try it. No other conditions. The Libra and Aquarius, they're both in the nighttime as greater, so they have some consideration of others. But the Gemini doesn't. It's really at the extreme of thinking for oneself and acting on one's own ideas, and as many as possible. But a lot of times it's hard to complete things. So you get too many things going on. So Gemini get very much in their head, and they can appear very superficial at times, very smart, but not ambitious or not staying, jack of all trades, master of none. So They're smart, but not necessarily loyal, or other qualities that other signs have. They don't have that in the same way. They have all the signs, but if their moon's somewhere else, they can bring that quality in. But the Libra, it's the fall. It's an air sign. It's the driving air sign. It's like, hi, how do you like me so far? You like my ideas? Let's get married. Let's get related. Let's be together. What are you doing? So they're driving their ideas. If they're trying to get married, they're driving to be nice and to be appreciated for their ideas. Once you're married, believe us, we're together, we're going here. They see the vision of what we could do, and they're always going for the dream, and they're doing the thinking. They can idealize, well, we could do this, we could do this. Let's go here. This would be nice. This would be nice. So they try to control the relationships by their ideas. So they get appreciated by it. They like to share their ideas, and they're driving from one thing to another to make things better, to make things nicer, to have more style, to share more, to talk. Let's spend the night talking, whatever. Gemini is a little bit more free-handed than that. Doesn't want to have to pay the price of the style. They can deal with it, but they won't fit in that much. The Libras are too pushy, and Aquarians are too fixed, so they can get a little boring. But at least these signs, being all air signs, they're interested in each other. They can talk to each other. They can communicate very spontaneously without feeling threatened. But their styles are very uniquely. The pushy air, the fixed air, the mutable air. So the pushy ideas, the driving ideas, to visualize something and make it happen, to follow the plan, to develop a strategy, and to make the connections and to build it up so it can actually happen, to make the team happen, and to just do whatever comes up and see how far you can go things, how you can do things much better than other people. I don't know why Geminis generally think everyone else is retarded, because as soon as a Gemini gets an idea, they act on it right away. Another idea comes, they act on it. They think everyone else who reflects on their ideas and waits to see if it's good or bad or responsible or not, that slows them down, and they think they're slow, they're dumb. That's how a Gemini would interpret that. And when dumb people come in and try to control or direct the Gemini, they just don't take it. They move on somewhere else. So this diversity, like, you see it, how would you see it as a partner? How would you see it as a kid? If it's your kid, how you challenge that. And you get into it, and you see how they work it. You expand. I'm just giving a real brief core of the words associated to it. Words are the lowest form of astrology. Colors, sounds, feelings, experiences, observations, those are the real textures of astrology. But we start with our mind, and we learn the language, and we start observing the experience behind the language. And that's where it starts to come really together. So the air signs all get along, and they're rational, cerebral. The water signs, it's the beginning of the fire and air are the masculine projective signs. They project their ideas, they project their actions. The feminine signs, so it could be a man or a woman that's an Aries or a masculine sign, but they're still going to project what they're doing. A woman will still be more projective than reflective. I've met a number of Aries or Leo women who feel, I could do things as good as any guy. I could have, should have. I'm just there. Like, they have that pride and that determination to compete. But so even though we're saying masculine and feminine signs, we're really saying projective and reflective qualities. Okay, so a man or a woman can have the projective or the reflective qualities. So when we're measuring astrology, we're measuring the qualities of a person. We're observing the qualities of, or the colors that color that soul. We're not looking at things. We're not looking at specifics. We're looking at qualities and attitudes. Attitudes are very powerful things. Have you ever tried to change someone's attitude? Why would you? Why would somebody try and change your attitude? Well, but it happens all the time, and we start stressing and having stress around which attitude's the right attitude. All 12 of them are. But any one accentuated will draw attention to itself and get more stress. So the water signs, water's emotional, moody, emotional, sensitive, impressionable. So they feel things, they're impressionable, they're sympathetic, but mostly you'll see they take in the sensitivity, they have the sensitivity to feel things emotionally, but I think we would interpret one of the qualities of all the water signs, they're imaginative, impressionable, and very judgmental. This feels right, this doesn't feel wrong. We were close, how could you pull away? How could you hurt my feelings? How could you? So issues of flowing together, being together is two people running like rivers running together to be together. These are like water experiences. It's imaginative, impressionable, not necessarily practical, but certainly dramatic. But these are all reflective signs. These are people who take emotional experiences and hold them. It can hold them in for a long time. And they're measuring their confidence in the emotions. Now, if a water sign is with an earth sign, the earth sign is going to be practical, physical. But they'll make love and it was a nice physical sensation. But they're not going to make it personal. It was a emotional person will be, wow, that was so important and so impressionable. And they're going with their moods. And every time they go with the moods, the earth signs will ignore them. So this is part of the struggle, this emotional quality. There's the driving water of Cancer, the fixed water of Scorpio, and the mutable water of Pisces. So water, because it's irrational, emotional, impressionable, but when it gets cold, it can be frozen ice, or it can be hot as steam. Water almost takes the shape of the container or avoids shapes. You can't say water is a specific shape. So but it's certainly a texture, an impressionable thing. Without water, wow, imagine a relationship where there's no emotion or sympathy or compassion between everybody. Well, some people might think that's the perfect relationship. Other people say, no, that would be a big loss. But then when you get too much emotions and the emotions get dark or sad or hurt, you end up at the country and western bar, you end up with feeling sorry for yourself, you end up with the AA meetings, oh, I'm so sorry, mea culpa, I'm so guilty, I'm so sorry for everything that happened. They take it, every little thing is magnified and taken personally. This quality of taking things personally, that's water. If someone says, if you say to a water sign, hey, I want to tell you something, but don't take it personally, it's already too late. They take everything personally, and it's absorbed and it's felt to the nth degree. Even if it's not shown, it's still taken in. So these are the signs that when they're projecting, when they have their confidence, they're very emotional, they're very inclusive, but they can pull in and get their feelings hurt so easily. So Cancers, it's the strong independent, the most independent just after the beginning of summer. It's the driving, reflective, I me. I want to belong, but I got to have my home, my place, my security. So Cancer's energy is emotional sensitivity about what's secure to me. This feels secure. This is my kid. This is my home. I feel it has to be this way. So they mother or smother. You know, that watery over attention, paying too much attention, watching everybody. But they collect things, everything that has a feeling. They pick it up. They'll put feelings into everything. So when they're secure, they're the funniest signs. The water signs are all really funny, especially Cancer. They make jokes about everything, but they can dish them out, they can't take them. So this is the water. When they get hurt, they withdraw. When they get mad, they freeze up, or they boil. But there's a certain warmth or closeness or emotional quality. It's nice to take a walk by the river or be on the river. You know, like, it's a nice thing. It's to be without that, oh boy, can you imagine living in a place where there's no rivers, just dry land? It can be done, but wow, it's really nice to be around the water, to have the security. So we have a home, we have water in the home, we have to have the right kind of water, right kind of security, the food. Cancer takes little personal things about family, mothers, everything very strongly, and they drive to get, I got to be secure, I got to fix this, I got to talk to mom, I got to get the home, I got to do this, they're driving to take care of things, but they're driving from their emotions. We need this, I feel this, I got to do this, I feel this. So when that's positive, they're bubbling and they're doing it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to take care of this. When it's hurt my feelings, they're going to do it, but they're fighting their negative feelings in it, and even though they reflect on the feelings, it's still a cardinal side. They push the effects out. So if they're upset, everyone in the house is going to know. They're going to drive to make their feelings expressed.